Today at QueenBeing.com, we're talking about something kind of controversial. Narcissists who have been cured. What? I know, you're going, what? Narcissists can be cured? Is there such a thing? Well, that's what we're talking about today, and I'm going to share with you Richard Grannon's opinion on the subject as well. So, let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. Does that sound good to you? If so, hit that subscribe button and we'll get going. Like I said, today we're going to talk about narcissists who have been cured. Narcissists who have changed. So let's start here. Dr. David Hawkins is a psychotherapist who has said, I can change a narcissist, I have cured a narcissist. And I've talked about him before on this channel a couple of different times. The first time when a viewer came to me and said, hey, have you heard about this guy? What do you think about what he has to say? Well, here's a clip from that video where I talked about what Dr. Hawkins is all about, just to give you an overview and kind of review for you exactly what his theory is. Here you go, take a look. So the first step that I hear him talking about is he thinks that if a narcissist has an appropriate breakdown, they could feasibly come out of it and behave properly. There's some truth to that. He gives an example in a video. He says that he has a client, and this client was in his care getting therapy because his wife left him. Dr. Hawkins worked with this client to help him have the breakdown, which occurred because of the fact that his wife left him. Dr. Hawkins goes on to say that he helped him work through all his little issues and help him learn how to process emotions correctly. And now he says this couple is enjoying the relationship better than they ever have before, something of that nature. So what it comes down to is I would like to know how those people are doing in 6 months. I'd like to know how they're doing in a year. Because what I have seen is that when a narcissist changes, they will change. Absolutely, they'll change if they are threatened or if something that they want is going to be taken away from them, such as maybe their primary source of supply, and depending on the narcissist. But what happens is the change is temporary almost every time. I've never personally seen a narcissist permanently change, and I've not been able to find a lot of other people who agree that you can permanently help a narcissist change or heal from narcissism. Dr. Hawkins argues that change is only likely to occur in these cases if they really do think they're going to lose something, if what they stand to lose is greater than what they have to give to change. Richard said he had not heard of Dr. Hawkins before, but here was his opinion on how this whole deal works.
No, I don't know about Dr. David Hawkins. And if somebody has full-blown narcissistic personality disorder, I'm fairly traditional in a lot of my approaches. And that is one of them, which is no, my understanding of the mechanics of the disorder are such that if they have that rare diagnosis, they will, as an intrinsic element of narcissistic personality disorder, they kind of have to reject therapy. They have to reject help from the outside and help within their most intimate and vulnerable spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, Dr. Hawkins claims that he has cured narcissists. I've actually spoken to 2 of his patients' wives who basically what I understand is they've simply just done some behavior modification, and it requires, he requires that they work with him forever, for the rest of their lives in order to...
That's convenient when you're charging by the hour.
Isn't it?
So what it comes down to with Dr. Hawkins, in my opinion, is that he's teaching behavior modification, and narcissists who are afraid they're going to lose someone or who are trying to get back a valued source of supply might temporarily change their behavior thanks to behavior modification and extensive therapy. Now, with that being said, according to what I heard from the videos that I watched of Dr. Hawkins, as well as from several clients of his who reached out to me after these videos were done, it does require the person to maintain and stay in therapy as long as they are going forward. And even those who said, yes, I was helped, my husband was helped, my wife was helped by this person, which I think, to be honest with you, I think he only works with male narcissists, then even those people said, now it only happens once a month or once a week or whatever. So it still goes on. It does not change. And any change that does come is a result of behavior modification, not true, deep, intrinsic change. Now, here's what Richard Grannon had to say about the topic. Although we hadn't heard of Dr. Hawkins, here are his thoughts on Dr. Hawkins' theory. Take a look.
Cure is a pretty strong word to use in this context. I mean, it would be remarkable, not least because if we come at it from another angle, in terms of psychoanalysis and psychotherapeutic practice, we know and we accept that childhood trauma is very, very hard to deal with. So if you had another, basically to say I can cure narcissism is to say I can cure deep, long-term, deep-seated childhood trauma, its effects. And if that were true, he would have done something truly remarkable. And if that were true, and he had uncovered such a methodology, why would he be focusing on narcissistic predators instead of on everybody else who suffered childhood trauma? So it seems like a spurious claim that's guaranteed to do its own marketing for you. And I would be very suspicious of anybody claiming that.
So the question now is, can a narcissist change? Is it possible for a narcissist to change? Well, if you've watched my channel very long, you know my stance on this, and that is very similar to Richard's stance. No, they don't change. Can they? Sure. Yeah, it's possible. And in my opinion, what that would take is they would need to identify and overcome their core wound, heal it, dig deep down and find out exactly what it is that's stopping them from being a normal, healthy person, what it is that's stopping them from having empathy for other people, and then heal that problem, and then learn empathy again as though they were small children. You will never see a narcissist do this, in my opinion, and from my research, anybody that I have found who actually claims a narcissist has changed, inevitably what it all boils down to is that that person has been taught how to deal with a narcissist. The narcissist might have certain behavior modifications in place, but in general, what it comes down to is that the person claiming a narcissist has changed has literally changed themselves and the way they deal with the narcissist. I have not ever heard of a single narcissist successfully changing. I stand by that statement, and I've made it before. Here's what Richard thinks about that. Take a look.
Have you personally ever run across anyone that was cured?
In terms of personality disorder?
Narcissistic personalities specifically, yeah.
No, I mean, there's people on the internet who've claimed it, but people on the internet claim all kinds of things. You know, in the strength and conditioning community, I always joke, you know, everybody you speak to online can squat double their body weight, they can run 20 kilometers in under 2 hours, and there's, you know, it's you can be whatever you want to be from behind the screen. No, I've never seen it. I've met personality disordered people. You know, it's what they are in the bones of who they are. Maybe if you smashed everything down with like some kind of mind control prison that they weren't allowed to escape for 6 years, and gave them a ton of psychedelics, and you would really have to do something very, very extreme that would match the trauma in childhood that would take them from predatory and hateful, because that's their survival template, into loving and compassionate, which is the opposite. So you're like, that's why they reject it, because it's death.
Yeah. Agreed.
Again, I think what it all comes down to is that, yes, it is possible for a narcissist to change, but I've never seen it happen, and I've never seen a study or a person who says, yes, it happened and it's real. Everyone that I've heard say, yes, it happened, has also added on that it's about the behavior modification. It's about changing the behavior as opposed to changing the core wound, as opposed to changing as a person. Look, I'm being really honest with you. As people, it's hard to change in general. But imagine if you were a narcissist and you were someone who couldn't fathom the idea of admitting there was anything wrong with you. It would be almost impossible for you by nature to acknowledge that there was something wrong enough with you that you needed to go to therapy. So I need you to think about that. And even when they do go to therapy, a lot of times they shine their therapist on, they pull the wool over their eyes, and they get the therapist to sort of help them victim blame in the situation. So obviously, in my opinion, the bottom line is no, narcissists won't change. They can, but they won't. My opinion, my experience. And as you see, Richard Grannon agrees. So tell me what you think. This brings me to the question of the day. Do you think a narcissist could change? Has any narcissist that you personally know ever changed? Do you know anyone, even in theory, who is a narcissist who has changed? Or do you think that Richard and I are on point about this and that narcissists won't change? Share your thoughts, share your ideas, tell me what you think in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. All right, that's all I've got for you right now. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life, and hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. I'll see you soon.
It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body, take care of your soul, nurture the real you, and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin. and in your place in this world. Take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.